You can synthesize aldehydes by oxidizing normal. So you can just oxidize primary alcohols. So ukuze ukwazi ukukhanda ama-aldehydes, the first method that you can use to ukukhanda ama-aldehydes, it is oxidizing ama-primary alcohols. I just house ama-primary alcohols angisho. They don't have any branch on the functional group carbon. So if we oxidize the alcohol, for example, take an alcohol, a generic alcohol with a carbon chain R and then with an OH group here. So this is an alcohol. So lo R sikhumbuleni is representing just a line of carbon angisho. Any number of carbons that you can put them. So through the process of oxidation, we use this symbol to show that we are oxidizing something, right? Through oxidation, we can be able to synthesize. The alcohol can change into what? Into a ketone. And the alcohol can change into an aldehyde. Kanjin. So we should say this carbon that was having the OH group will now be having what? A double bond oxygen now. It will now be having a double bond oxygen. I just want to say this is R, the carbon chain angisho, bonded to low carbon lone, bonded to the OH. So low carbon lone, instead of being bonded to the OH, after oxidizing it, it will now only be bonded to the double bond oxygen and the hydrogen. Yeah. So this is an aldehyde. So we can make an aldehyde by the oxidation of our alcohols, our primary alcohols specific, not our secondary, not our tertiary. But if you keep on doing the oxidation process, the aldehyde has a potential to turn into a what? Into a carboxylic acid. Oxidation, if you keep on oxidizing it, I show you oxidize, angisho nayi iba kanjeni, iba aldehyde. But if you over oxidize, meaning if you keep on oxidizing again, izovele ishintshe ke i-aldehyde yakho ibe yini? Ibe i-carboxylic acid. So that's the part that we use. So from here to here, the oxidation number of low carbon will increase. That's why we say that we are oxidizing it. There are certain reagents esazowabona ukuthi yiwaphi esingawasebenzisa. But if you oxidize an alcohol, it turns into a what? Into an aldehyde. A primary alcohol, by the way, Jan. A primary alcohol, if you oxidize it, it turns into a what? Into an aldehyde. And the aldehyde will turn into a what? If you oxidize it again, into a carboxylic acid. Sayibona ngisho? Yes. So this is a isoene oxidation. So if you do the reverse process, if on a carboxylic acid, for you to make it an aldehyde, let's just say in terms of synthesizer, the aldehyde from a carboxylic acid, you would have to do the opposite of oxidation. What is the opposite of oxidation? Reduction. Reduction. So you have to reduce it to do the opposite. Yeah, but this is not really possible. From carboxylic acid to aldehydes, stopping there, it's not usually possible. Most of the times, it's a jumper in alcohols, but how do we deal with that later on? So when we are oxidizing, we can use a couple of different reagents, but the recommended reagent to oxidize here, we use UPCC, pyridinium chlorochromate. So we use UPCC, which is pyridinium chlorochromate salt. So pyridinium chlorochromate salt, it is ideal for the oxidation of our primary alcohols into aldehydes. So UPCC is just a reagent. It's just a reagent esisebenzayo. Shithi masifuna ukuconverta nje le alcohol yethu ukuthi ibe yini? Ibe yilothu njani? Ibe yi-aldehyde. Sebenzisa ubani? Pyridinium chlorochromate. We just abbreviate it as UPCC. Okay. So UPCC is very ideal for this reaction because it works. It works on anhydrous conditions. So UPCC, it works on anhydrous conditions. Actually, we know hydrous condition no anhydrous is different. When you say hydrous, it means there is water molecules involved. When you say anhydrous, it means that it is dry, there is no water. So it's nama hydrate compound, nama anhydrous compound. So if the compound yako has got water molecules somewhere or the other, then it cannot work here because we need a salt as about dry. If we have got water molecules in the reagent, we have a potential of doing what? Of producing a carboxylic acid. So for safety purposes, we use PCC because PCC has nothing to do with water. So obviously it cannot be able to take this aldehyde and make it a carboxylic acid because the aim lana is to produce any aldehyde, i.e. carboxylic acid. So if you put a reagent that contains water in it, it will end up doing what? It will end up over oxidizing the aldehyde, say carboxylic acid. So use PCC because it works on anhydrous conditions, it works on dry conditions. Yeah, so this doesn't over oxidize. For example, if we take a 1 heptanol, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, let's just say this is 1 heptanol, Langish is a primary alcohol, 1 heptanol. So, if you oxidize this by using PCC as the salt, as well as any other reagent that is required, here they used a dichloromethane, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so they use dichloromethane. This one, don't mind it. We want to mine this PCC salt. So this pyridinium chlorochromate salt, it is ideal because the alcohol is a relationship with aldehyde. So lana again, alcohol is in a 7 carbon. This is the 7th carbon. So the aldehyde that you're gonna produce, we're just gonna remove this OH. Sifake double bond oxygen, sifake hydrogen, be aldehyde. That's the oxidation process. So we'll end up having something like this double bond oxygen with the hydrogen. So this turns from it turns from 1 heptanol to heptanol to heptanal. So from 1, and I think it's part of the activity, it's a pendulum. From 1 heptanol to heptanal. This is the required conditions that we need. We'll need a pyridinium chlorochromate salt because it is ideal, it is not containing water molecule, anhydrous. I'll play, guys. Okay. So yeah, that's it with it. So potassium permanganate, we cannot use it to create some aldehydes because it will over oxidize because potassium permanganate, actually know it's like KMNO4. Yeah, potassium permanganate will end up over oxidizing this and it will end up becoming carboxylic acid, of which it is not what we want. We want to synthesize an aldehyde. So that's the first method. The second method that you can use, it is a ozonolysis. So method number 2, we can ozonolysis of alkenes. So we can make aldehydes from alkenes. Actually, at first we made them from alcohols when we oxidize the alcohol. But now we can make it from doing what? From ozonolyzing the double bond of an alkene. So let's ozonolyze or cleave the double bond of alkene. So then again, you need to pay very careful attention to it. Let's say you've got an alkene, say this is something like this. This is an alkene, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is something like 2-pentene, right? 2-pentene. So the alkene, which is 2-pentene, we can actually cleave the double bond. Meaning the double bond singayihlukanisa. Not just we are breaking it into like single bond, no. We cleave it noma sayihlukanisa. Sayibona ngisho. So masihlukanisa siba nani lapho. We'll end up having something like This is this carbon, this one, and this double bond, plus this double bond and this carbon, something like this. So each double bond yet we can part it, like we can cleave it. But we see if we separate these two parts, the part will still have a double bond. Now the part will also still have a what? A double bond. It's known as ozonolysis of the double bond. So we are cleaving the double bond. The part lena still has a double bond. Actually, this is like carbon 1, non-carbon 1, carbon 2, non-carbon 2, carbon 3, non-carbon 3. Bese siyicleave lana ke thina. Sayihlukanisa. So siyicleave lana, sayihlukanisa. So a double bond yes, we can still have a double bond this side and a double bond that side. This is just for illustration purposes. Okay, mase siqala ke manje doing it in actual ways. So if we take an alkene, let's just take a cyclic okay, let's just take this alkene that has got a cyclic ring LAN. Alkene, this is an alkene angish. So the alkene lena sinayo lana has got a phenyl there. If we are ozonolized or if we are doing ozonolysis, basically ozone, you guys know what ozone is angish. And the geography land. Yeah. So what is the geography? Ozone, we know that is just 3 atoms of oxygen that are found out there. It doesn't exist on Earth per se, naturally, but it is found outside the Earth. It is the one that prevents ultraviolet rays. But ozone is simply 3 oxygens. That's why we say it's ozonolysis, because we are doing what? We are reacting using ozone. And we are also using a couple of other reagents such as CH3, Cl2, and in this case we used dimethyl sulfide. Yeah, something like this, dimethyl sulfide. So this is what we've used. And then when we cleave lana, we're just gonna cleave this double bond. Once you see lama reaction condition, so as we are doing ozonolysis again. So it means that automatically this is gonna be cleaved. And this cleaving requires a temperature of about -78 degrees Celsius. Where we use liquid nitrogen to achieve that temperature, as you heard the other day with him. If we want to go a very lower temperature than 0 degrees, we use liquid nitrogen because it's able to, it has got a very small, yeah, it can make things colder actually, to make things simple. So massively le double bond, we're gonna remain with this ring, and then swenalo carbon, bese swanani lana ke angisho siyayiseparate le double bond yethu uthi kahle part of this will have a double bond, nangalena part of this will also have a double bond. But now the double bond, you put oxygen on it because you are ozonolizing, so there is some oxygen you are adding to it. You are adding ozone. So here this part, I just have all the parts lena in a ring. I just tell the double bond side to one goes to this one and another one goes to the other one. So lana ke le parts lena ke lo double bond lona uzo attach ubani ilo oxygen oswakilo ozone. So that's the first compound that we have, and it's you can see that this is a what? Is it a ketone and aldehyde, Len? It's an aldehyde, Anish. Yes. And then the remaining part that we have, ile part line, just about sun double bond line. No double bonds in fireman or oxygen, because the oxygen kind of cleaves into the double bond. It cleaves into the double bond. So it's now 3 molecules of oxygen. So 2 of them will cleave into this part, another one will cleave into this part. So here, now as a cleave again. The other one, we still have a double bond, guys. You see the double bond here now, the double bond, the portion icon. So if I oxygen. Then here we've got 1 carbon and another carbon. So obviously it's an aldehyde nakon. It's just that need doing it is a weird. Manga misa in the regular way that you are used to. It will be something like this. It will be something like this. Manga misa. But did you see Anche Kalen before Misa Benjan? Basically, le part lane, ansho sihlukanisela i-double bond, this side and that side. So this part has a double bond and this part also has a double bond. So the oxygen from the ozone, it cleaves into this double bond. So on one side, we're going to have the ring that is going to have a double bond to oxygen. On the other side, I just found a portion of double bond. So fagu oxygen con. So this will be oxygen. Then we have this double bond to this carbon and then we go to that one. Obviously, this carbon must have a hydrogen. There's a hydrogen there. Because obviously it's 1, 2, 3 bonds. So the fourth bond is hydrogen. So it looks like this in a more clearer way. So basically, when we ozonolize these alkenes, we can create what? We can actually end up having what? Having a ketone and an aldehyde. Or we can have a ketone and a ketone, or a aldehyde and aldehyde. But you can have different combinations depending on the specific problem that you might have. Now, this ring that has got a double bond, I think it's part of the exercise Nakon. And then you subject it to the same conditions of ozone, dichloromethane, and then dimethyl sulfide. Now, these conditions. So once you go to conditions and you see the temperature of negative 78 degrees Celsius, you already know that we are doing what here? We are doing ozonolysis of the alkene. So the ozonolysis simply means that we look for the double bond in the alkene, then we cleave it in between. So must we cleave in between? So another part that has got the ring. So this is the part that has got the ring 9. And there will be a double bond, but that double bond will be cleaved by the oxygen. So it means we are no oxygen also cleave into this double bond. And then the remaining part, you see last no carbon and sholan. Sambon carbon ola. Yeah, kono carbon la. So the carbon lona would have a double bond, but the double bond is oxygen. So we have a carbon that is double bonded to oxygen. Carbon that is double bonded to oxygen. So it means the carbon must be bonded to what else? The carbon double bonded to oxygen. What other bonds do we have? Kumbulan pera lanas no bonds, no two anxious no double bond land. And this is a carbon. What is the other element is now la out2? Our hydrogen about 2 angish, because each and every carbon must have 4 bonds in total. So here we must have 2 hydrogens that are attached to what? That are attached to the carbon. So this will give us a formaldehyde. This is known as ozonolysis of alkenes. So we've already done so far 2 methods of synthesizing alkenes. You can either oxidize some alcohols. When the example you talk, I'm going to send some examples because they do make quite a lot of sense. But just for example, acetaldehyde, noma ethanol, it is produced in your liver when you drink alcohol. Why is that? It's because maupuzo alcohol and alcohol no ethanol paras. So that ethanol will be oxidized because your liver has got to an extent it has got oxygen in it. So it will oxidize that ethanol in your liver. Okay, and then again, when it is oxidized here now, it will turn into what? Into ethanol now. Because remember, an alcohol can turn into an aldehyde when it's oxidized. And after we ethanol at that point, that is acetaldehyde. It is the one that is responsible for hangover, aka ipapalas. Yes. Yeah, awesome. We are done with that. So another way now of synthesizing aldehydes, the third way, it is by the reduction. It is by the reduction of nitriles. So reduction of nitriles. Acyls, did we do acyl group? I think I forgot it, but I will society in the land. Yeah, nitriles, chlorides, acyl chlorides, as well as esters. Okay, so asikhumbuzaneni lana-ke, when we're doing the synthesis of aldehydes by oxidizing alcohol, sithe if you over oxidize iyogcina iyini i-carboxylic acid, right? So, and I say to let's say you want to attempt to reduce your carboxylic acid back to what? To an aldehyde. Actually, opposite of oxidation is reduction. So now you want to reduce carboxylic acid is not easy to reduce. That's the one thing. So carboxylic acid is not what? Is not easy to reduce. So it means it requires a strong reduction agent. Actually, something that reduces, the chemical that we use to reduce will be known as a reduction agent, reducing agent. So here, uzesizame ukuthatha carboxylic acid, take it to become an aldehyde. For us to reduce it, we'll need to use a what? A very big, a very powerful reducing agent. For example, the reducing agents that we use, most of the times they must have aluminum hydride in them. So if we take a carboxylic acid, CO and then OH, and this is a carboxylic acid. If I say I want to reduce this and I want to reduce this, I would need to use a stronger reducing agent. Example of a stronger reducing agent ubani, lithium aluminum hydride. So lithium aluminum hydride is LiAlH4. It's a very strong reducing agent. Thing is, yes, it's true, really, the carboxylic acid, yes, it will turn into an aldehyde, which is what you want to try and synthesize, right? So it will turn and become an aldehyde. But this will only happen temporarily. Why is that? The aldehyde, it is very easy to reduce nakon. A carboxylic acid, I should say, it is hard to reduce. That's why we need a what? A stronger reducing agent. But the aldehyde in Janiona, it is easy to reduce. So Tina, we are having this reagent in the mixture already. Lithium aluminum hydride in the mixture. So the moment we create an aldehyde, the aldehyde will be easily reduced because we're having a powerful reducing agent. So it means that we won't really have an aldehyde for long, because this aldehyde, it will be reduced again and becomes an alcohol, back to being an alcohol. We are actually doing the reverse of what we did at first. So basically, we cannot synthesize aldehydes from what? From carboxylic acids. If we ask why can't we not synthesize aldehydes from carboxylic acid? It's because, first of all, carboxylic acids, they are hard to reduce. So we will need to do what? To use a powerful reducing agent. Normally, you will need to use a more reactive reducing agent. And in this case, a more reactive reducing agent, for example, it can be lithium aluminum hydride. It's a very powerful agent. Yes, it will be able to turn your carboxylic acid into an aldehyde. But the fact that with the lithium aluminum hydride, it is still there in your reaction mixture. Let's say it's a beaker. If your beaker has got this lithium aluminum hydride, aldehyde is very easy to reduce. So if we're having a powerful reduction agent, immediately the moment we form aldehyde, reduce alcohol. Because remember, guys, we said it was at first, when you do this process in reverse, when you reduce a carboxylic acid, it becomes an aldehyde. When you reduce it, it becomes a what? An alcohol. So to reduce from here to here, we need a what? A stronger agent, because the carboxylic acid is hard to reduce. And then again, how now aldehyde, but that aldehyde, it won't last for long because it's easy to reduce and it's weak. So this powerful agent that we have in the mixture, it will automatically take the aldehyde, it will sell it back to what? To an alcohol. So we can never make aldehydes from carboxylic acid for that reason. If you want to explain it. So these square brackets, the square brackets now, they mean that a compound H cannot be isolated. Means that we cannot be able to extract the aldehyde. Because remember guys, this is something that has got applications. If you are doing it in a lab and then you attempt the reaction lane, and then manje ke sofuna ukhiphe aldehyde yakho, angisho uzama ukhanda aldehyde, you're trying to make an aldehyde. When you try to remove or isolate the aldehyde from the reaction mixture, you can never isolate it because the aldehyde will eventually turn back to what? To an alcohol. So the only thing that you can get from this is an alcohol rather than an aldehyde or into a phenol. So basically, we can never synthesize aldehydes from carboxylic acid. So it means instead of synthesizing aldehydes from carboxylic acid, what can we try? We can try using carboxylic acid derivative. More like abantwana carboxylic acid, like children of carboxylic acids. There are many compounds that come from carboxylic acids. We've got acyl chlorides, we've got esters, we've got nitriles. Esters, they come from carboxylic acids, Angish. You know that from grade 12, that when you react an alcohol and a carboxylic acid, we get a what? An ester. So basically an ester is a carboxylic acid derivative. Basically we got it from carboxylic acid. Alright, yeah. So carboxylic acid derivative. So here I'm just going to say rather use carboxylic acid derivatives. Okay, rather use carboxylic acid derivatives. Which are those carboxylic acid derivatives? We are talking about acyl chlorides. So when I talk about acyl chlorides, it simply means that we've got a chain and then it is bonded to an acyl group. Now, or with a chloro there, right? Actually, acyl groups here, acyl just simply means that you've got a carbon chain and another carbon and it's double bonded to an oxygen. That is an acyl group, an alkanoyl group. You can say it's an alkanoyl, it's an acyl group. So basically, this is an acyl chloride. So our main group now is very important. This is acyl chloride. So acyl chloride is coming from what? From a carboxylic acid. This is a carboxylic acid derivative. But we won't show the reaction. How did this become this? But you should just know that it is one. Another carboxylic acid derivative that you can talk about is esters. Esters, we know that esters is like R. It is bonded to oxygen, bonded to carbon. That is double bonded to oxygen, bonded to another carbon chain. So this is an ester. This is kind of the general way of representing any generic ester. So this is an ester. An ester is a carboxylic acid derivative as well. Then the third derivative is a nitrile. So a nitrile group, it is having what? It is having a carbon. So it's a carbon chain. Let's just write it down. Carbon chain bonded to a carbon. That is triple bonded to a nitrogen. So this is a what? A nitrile group. But if they don't want to show this carbon in a skeletal formula, they will just say this is R kanjin. So ungamangali when you see something like this. You guys know skeletal structures from first year English. So this means that this is a what? Is a nitrile group. So this is acyl. This is acyl chloride. This is an ester. This is a what? A nitrile, normal, you can say it's a nitrile group. All of these, they are carboxylic acid derivative. And what makes them more usable than a carboxylic acid itself? They are easy to reduce one. Are easy to reduce. We don't need to use strong reducing agents such as lithium, aluminium hydride. So we don't need to use this one. Lena C7 Lena powerful. C7 carboxylic acid is what? Is hard to reduce. But these carboxylic acid derivatives, they are easier to reduce because they've got less oxygens. Because carboxylic acid is very hard, but these ones, they are easier to reduce. Although an ester might have 2 oxygens and stuff like that, but it's easy to reduce nakon. So since it's like that, it means that for these ones, since they are easier to reduce, we're gonna need a reduction agent, a less powerful because it's easier to reduce. Angeke sasebenzisa this one. This one is more powerful. We used it because this one was hard to reduce. But now, because these carboxylic acid derivatives, they are easy to reduce, what are we going to use? We're going to use a sterically hindered reducing agent. So we know of sterically hindered reducing agent. So we use a sterically hindered reducing agent. So sterically hindered reducing agent, we are simply talking about those agents that have got examples about tert butoxide. As long as there's a tert butoxide, it is definitely sterically hindered. I still remember last second year we did what? We did tert butoxide. We were using it to do the opposite. Okay, so similarly here, sterically hindered reducing agent. The example that you can take is this one, LiAlHO, OAC, what is it? OTPU 3. Okay, so this reagent is not as powerful compared to lesiqale ngayo lithium this reagent is less powerful than lithium aluminum hydride, because lithium aluminum hydride is a very strong reducing agent. It's very powerful, it is very strong. But this one, it is what? It is weaker, it is less reactive. So iona is best for reacting with these carboxylic acid derivatives. So the name of this is what? Is lithium aluminum tri-tertiary butoxide aluminum hydride. Oh yeah, lithium tri-tertiary butoxide aluminum hydride. And you can get the name, guys. Simple. Nangu lithium angisho. Lithium. Nangu tri. Bawu 3 obani. O tertiary butoxide. And then experience nani, no aluminum, no hydrogen, so that's aluminum hydride. So this is lithium tri-tert butoxide aluminum hydride. You can just see it from the molecular formula, it becomes way easier. There's no problem. We should never forget it. Lithium tri-tert butoxide aluminum hydride. Or we can use what? Or we can use dipal H. So we can use that one, or we can use dipal H. Dipal H, it is diisobutyl aluminum hydrate. This one is clear from the name. This is diisobutyl aluminum hydrate. All of them must end with aluminum hydride. So it's dipal H. Diisobutyl aluminum hydride. So these ones, they are still reducing agents, but they are way less reactive. They are weaker. So they will be suitable for any. They will be suitable for these derivatives. Because at the end of the day, we want to synthesize our aldehydes. So let's just try to see, can we do that? Nice. Okay. You see, storage is alright. So let's take an acyl chloride. This is an acyl chloride Cl. And say we want to make an aldehyde from it. And the aldehyde that we want to make is R9. We want to make this aldehyde from acyl chloride. This is a carboxylic acid derivative. Or let us take an ester. We can take an ester. An ester, it will be something like RC double bond oxygen, and then it will be bonded to O R prime. This is an ester. We understand the general formula already. We can also take it and make it to be a what? An aldehyde. Or we can, which other derivative did you say we have carboxylic acid? Unitrile angisho. So unitrile is R like this. This is unitrile. We can also take it and still form the same aldehyde. Actually, the purpose is to synthesize aldehydes. So we are synthesizing them, but we won't use the carboxylic acid itself, but rather we will use the carboxylic acid derivatives. So we are using carboxylic acid derivatives. But the conditions that we're going to require there are these ones. We're going to need these reducing agents. Don't use lithium aluminum hydride. Use this one, lithium tritertiary butoxide aluminum hydride.